Borough fans, hello and welcome back to episode number 35 on the Stevenage Football Club podcast. Tonight on this episode, we will be discussing our 2-1 defeat at Kenilworth Road on Saturday. That is right, the team travelled to Luton in the hotly anticipated, well, we call it local derby. I don't know how many people would agree with that, but a rival match nevertheless against Luton Town. We did beat them at home 2-0 back in October, and we unfortunately were defeated 2-1 in a crazy type of match. It means that the team are now 8th place. Anne's not going to like this, but we are 8th place here. We are 8th place. That is correct. 8th place with 37 points. We will be looking ahead to, in my opinion, probably the biggest game of the season on Saturday against Exeter, and what that game is now. I'm backing it, boys, so I can see a lot of hands on faces there. But I think it's our biggest game. Got to win a game of football, and what a better game to have than Exeter. I know people are going to say it takes Exeter away. It's going to be tough, but we need a win. We need a win. We will be looking ahead to League One, and we have also got some questions on today's episode. Once again, if you are viewing on YouTube, thank you so much for viewing, guys. Please give us a follow, like, and a subscribe. And if you're listening on the Audibles, once again, give us a like and a follow for all of your Stevenage Football Club content online. Tonight, I've got the gang with me and Luca. Chaps, how are we? I know Anne's a little bit hungover, but how are we, guys?
Still celebrating our goal, perhaps.
What? By the way, limbs in the away end. Limbs in the away.
May have elbowed an old lady in the head by accident after that goal went in.
Well, he certainly stood on my trainer at the football.
Yeah, do apologise. Well, when Lewis Freestone goes and scores goals, you have to be excited, don't you?
By the way, he's got 3 now, by the way.
Unbelievable.
Should put him up top.
Do you know what's crazy, right? Well, we did Dan Sweeney, didn't we? That was fun. Do you know what's criminal, right? Lewis Freestone's in our top 3 goal scorers. It just shows it, doesn't it? It just shows it. But no, it was an incredible moment. Reece Sullivan captured a beautiful picture of a few of us down the front after the goal had hit the back of the net.
Charlie giving it a large to travel.
Yeah, flicking him off, pretty much, giving it to travel. I love him. I actually think he's quite funny. I just think he knows what he's doing.
We need like one of them for our club.
What,
someone like that? Yeah.
Why couldn't you be that?
I just can't be asked to do all the effort for it. Just need someone
you could fit that.
100%.
Farley, I reckon it's got your name written over you. I mean, you do it on a daily basis, don't you?
No, I just love this team so much. I don't really know what you're on about. You know, I like it's my favourite team.
A positive rage baiter.
Oh, that'd be elite, by the way.
that is Farley.
Yeah. To be fair, it could work.
I mean, you'd be going on about how wonderful the Bez is and how much of a star player he is for us. And
here we go again. Listen, right, I love the Bez. You leave the Bez alone, all right? You leave him alone. Although he wasn't involved in the squad on the weekend.
He did have a massive smile when you pointed at him and started shouting.
Oh, mate, do you remember that? So basically, Luca, right, we were in the away end. And it was actually Banfield as well, wasn't it? Do you remember that?
Banfield, yeah. He gave us the belly. I was like, yeah, he remembers Bolton.
He was literally, so they were walking past and the Bez came over for was it, the little huddle?
It was the warm-up bit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they first came out for warm-ups, you did it.
The Bez was present.
Bez was there. He was there, Bez. And we were like, Bez. And he was pointing at us going like that. It was so good. And then Neil Banfield did it as well. And Neil actually gave it a proper point, didn't he? He was
my manager.
Yeah, he was proper giving it some, Neil. It was great. It was we'll talk about the game a little bit later. But
I'm sorry, I'm not excited to look at our pre-match predictions on the game. I think they are absolutely horrendous.
Can we get them up actually? Hang on. Let me do it on the MacBook.
Sorry.
I know and was about to say orange and croissant then. I could feel that coming.
Yeah, coffee, cigarette, back in the game.
Yeah. Right. So, Luca, you went 2-1 win to us.
I think I said Jovan goal, didn't I?
You said Jovan Brace. Yeah. I've got that on it. And you said 1-0 us. And took half a point or half a correct answer on that one. I went 2-1 us as well. So And has made a bit of ground back from the weekend's results. Don't think he's done enough to take first place though. Let me quickly
No
check.
fist bumps then, so
No, you haven't really made up any. Well, no, you have to be fair. You're 2 points behind now. So
as long as I've got like a 0-0 or 2-0 extra for this Saturday, I think I'm fine. Really.
So this weekend, I went 0-0.
Yeah.
You went 1-0 Exeter, and you went 1-1. Yeah.
Yeah, I might have changed that to a 1-0 Exeter or something.
No, I'm going to change mine to 1-0 us. I am, because I really feel like the boys will win a game this Saturday Exeter. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. Other than the football, lads, how are we? Good weekend?
Just about recovered from the Saturday night antics of wherever we ended up.
Yeah.
That place.
God, and you were lapping it up with about 4 ladies. You were.
No, let's not lie.
Jeez, me and Jake.
Let's not lie.
Honestly, Luca, it was unbelievable. I've never seen hands form like that before in my life.
Yeah, here we go.
Although what I did find hilarious was one lady came up to Jake and went, "Is that Andrew Blair that you're with?" And Jake was like, "Yeah."
He got the autograph book out.
Yeah, and she was like, "Oh, I love the Stevenage Football Club podcast. He's amazing on that."
Idiots.
Yeah.
Idiots, the lot of you.
Snug St Albans. Yeah, it was
That was quite a good place actually. Well, a bit too overcrowded maybe for some people's liking.
Did it? It felt like watching Cole Pigiani in the box in the last 2 minutes. That's how crowded it was.
With arms all round him. The referee just going, "Yeah, carry on."
No. Sorry, do not mention that referee. Well, I know.
Oh no, I'm going to have to. Yeah, he was atrocious.
It's a weekly run now. It's a weekly run.
Oh, he's so bad. Do you know what though? At the time, he was so poor, but actually, when I've watched the highlights, he was actually really bad for both teams. Like, because our goal, I don't know if you saw it, hit Jordan Roberts on the arm.
Yeah, but it's bounced off his thigh first.
Sorry?
It hit from the thing I've seen, it looks like it hits his like thigh or knee or something first and then hits his hand. So this is my point. Like, if it hits your thigh and then hits your hand, is it a handball or is it not a handball?
I think if it hits your hand, it's a handball, isn't it?
If it's a blatant one.
But yeah, like it looked like his arm was running and it's hit his thigh and it's hit his arm. Like what's he meant to do? Run with his arm tucked by his side?
Don't know.
If it properly affects play, I think that's how they look at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he missed so much. I don't know how their centre half didn't get sent off or whoever it was for that tackle on the freestyle.
Long volley.
Oh, yeah,
mate, he should have.
And he started sitting there complaining to the linesman about it. So I was like, "Mate, get gone! You shouldn't be on this pitch."
Yeah, and it, man.
To be fair, did you
see what Robbo did?
Did you see what Robbo did on the sideline? I thought he's lucky. Lucky he's in League One, because if that's in the Prem, if that's with VAR, they'll look at that and they'll eat that up straight away.
Yeah, he missed a lot of stuff, didn't he?
But the thing is, like, when you talk about that Robbo thing, right? He didn't directly see it, and he's watching the ball, and then the ball gets cleared out, so he gives a throw in, and then it's only until the Luton bench start losing their mind that he then goes, "Oh no, hang on, we'll give a free kick."
It was for me. It was the Lewis Freestone challenge.
That was so bad.
Like, I could not believe.
Oh, you could tell it was going to be a yellow. You never thought he would give a red.
100%. And the thing is, he might not have connected with Lou properly, but like, it doesn't matter. Like, he's flown in like that. Like, oh my goodness.
Buds up over the ball and connects with him well enough to be able to. And, you know, if Lou goes down, you know it's serious. It's a big challenge. Like, it doesn't go down on the odd 50-50 unless he's trying to buy a foul to get us some a chance to relieve the pressure. But to go in like that, flying over the ball, studs up into the ankle, I'm thinking if VAR's around, he's gone.
Yeah,
You don't see him. He's a 3-match ban.
Can I say actually, Lewis Freestone is slowly becoming top 3 to 2 of my player of the season, by the way.
On it, and
Another
I said, "Oh no,
performance.
sorry." Can I say how long have I been going on about how good Lewis Freestone has been at a left back, and everyone goes, "Oh, no, I think Dan."
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
He's miles ahead of Butler. Miles.
Sorry.
He's adding goals to his game. He's getting forward. He's crossing. It's not quite at the right level, but he's working on it. He's getting there. He's defensively. He's unbelievable. He wins aerial duels. He wins foot races. The first half, their winger tried getting at him, and Lewis Freestone just looked at him and went, "Yeah, see you later, mate."
He fills you with confidence. That's what I love about him.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to make a point here. I know we're going to get straight into the game now. I've got a theory for why we lost. And
Was it adrenaline dump?
Yep.
I don't want to say it. Right. I've got a theory that was actually legit, but I'm going to hold that and put it in our analysis for the match because Luca, I'm convinced that played a part, but I'll explain why, right? Because watching the highlights back, it's just confirmed all the doubts.
I've got the same opinion.
No!
Yes.
Unbelievable. It's true. We celebrated that. Not the fans, although we did as fans. The players celebrated it like we'd won it in the 96th minute. Bear in mind, it was the 55th. We had another 35 minutes to play. Seriously.
Marshall running down the pitch, arms in the air.
Mate, Philip Martial had run the length of the pitch. Luca. Marlon Beresford was on his knees.
He's got to mention
much
again.
Airtime.
He has got to mention yet again.
Too much airtime.
By the way, just want to say on Max Woodford's signing earlier, hang on, Marlon Beresford, couldn't he be the Bez as well? The Bez? Beresford, Bez. I don't know.
There can only be one.
Yeah, there can only be one. Sorry, Bez. Love you, Bez. Right now, should we get into it? Should we get into the deep dive? Well, yeah, that's this podcast stand, isn't it? I guess we have to react.
90 minutes of football occurred. 3 goals were scored, 2 for Luton, 1 for us. The ref had a stinker, and we looked like we never played football before after the 60-minute mark. There you go. There's a summary.
There was a bit to talk about.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll move on to Exeter then. Right now, the 24th, and just summed it up for us. The
idiot section alert.
Oh,
yeah, and then
no,
that can go. We'll do that later.
Okay.
Unless you want to get it out of the way, it's up to you.
We'll do it at the end when we're all zoned in on the second half of the most important season to become a top half League One team. That's what I'm feeling at. Right, guys. So, obviously, on Saturday, we had the halfway point match, by the way. Just want to throw in there. Our 23rd League One match of the 2025/2026 season. We played Luton Town away, and it did end up a 2-1 defeat. It was a crazy game of football, wasn't it? I mean, 3 goals, a penalty, chances, limbs, opportunity of a sending off, the referee, the way that we were brilliant for 60 minutes. And then straight after the goal, the game just completely changed. And it was such an uncharacteristic 30 minutes that followed after the goal. There was just so much that happened with this 2-1 defeat to Luton on Saturday, and we're going to go through it as best as we can. And in order to do that, we have to look at the lineups and the statistics, as we always do on this podcast when we react to one of the team's matches this season. Again, Lewis Freestone scoring in the 53rd minute, Clark equalising in the 55th, and Kudua winning it in the 64th minute of the match. The lineups, Alex Ravel went with a pretty similar team to how we thought we were going to go. Philip Marshall in between the sticks, the back four, Luther Wilding, Charlie Good back in the side, partnering Cole Piagiani and Lewis Freestone at left back. The midfield was Dan Phillips and Harvey White partnering, Jordan Roberts out to the right, Dan Kemp in the 10, Phoenix Patterson on the left, and Jamie Reid led the line. On the bench, it was Tashby Hammond, Chem Campbell, Jordan Howan, Joe Van Malcolm, Jasper Patterson, Dan Sweeney, and Louis Thompson. Called him Lewis there. The statistics for the match, we had 44% possession, 15 shots overall, 3 on target. That is a much better ratio of shots. Can I just throw in there as well, the chance creation from us was pretty similar to Stockport. And Stockport, in terms of chance creation, was the most amount of chances in terms of percentages that we'd had for a good couple of months. So in terms of chance creation, this was one of the best or better matches that we've had along with Stockport since October, believe it or not. Touches inside the opposition box, we had 25. Philip Marshall made 5 saves, 27 aerial duels won. There was 12 fouls committed for us overall. We had 7 corners. By the way, dominated all of them statistics over Luton. Distribution, we made 310 passes, 58% were accurate, 44 backward passes, 141 forward passes, and 66 long balls with 67 successful final third passes and 23 crosses overall in the game. Boys, this podcast tonight is called 60/30. The reason for that is 60 minutes, brilliant. 30 minutes, don't know what happened. I've got my theory on it. And I'm going to tell that a little bit later. But, it was a really odd one, wasn't it? Because, I thought that we got the starting 11 correct. I felt that Revs, in my opinion, actually played a bloody good 11 to start. When I saw the starting 11, I thought Revs got it bang on. You looked at the final third, you saw Kemp, Roberts, Phoenix, Reedy, all that quality in the final third. I really liked it. I loved the way that he went with Dan Phillips for that kind of aggressiveness and robust nature as you probably do in these type of matches. Probably might need that at Exeter again on Saturday. Really liked the starting 11. And I thought the performance was brilliant. Some brilliant football in that first half. Chances created, many shots, many crosses in the box, doing all those things that we know that we do best with this squad, as Rev said. And yeah, a mental one in the second half where we've scored and it just kind of all went to pot after. And I know you were there. Luca, I know that you were watching. Who wants to go first, boys?
How to describe that game is my first question, really. And I think for me, it's sort of almost become a bit expected now with us in the sense of we play really well for a period of the game, but we never see the game out. And what I mean by that is over the last few weeks, we've been playing for 45 minutes and not the full 90. And now we've extended it to 60 minutes and not the last. And I think I said it last week. You can't expect to play for 60 minutes and win a game of football. And, teams are going to have moments and possession and pressure when they're playing against us. And that's expected. And that's just normal. That's the way the game of football is, right? But you can't switch off after 60 minutes when it's 1-1 in a place like Kenilworth Road with the squad that Luton has and with the resources that Luton have, because they will ultimately put you to the sword in when they get a second or third chance. Because let's be honest, Jerry Yates probably should score that and it ends up 3-1. Right? So I think we've got to be at a point like and the other one is for the first 60 minutes, were brilliant. We had the ball on the floor, we were moving it, we were playing through the lines, we were playing nicely. We got it out to Phoenix, we got it out to Roberts. We got, we were playing with the width like we have done at the start of the season. Okay. After the 60-minute mark, what did we do? We started hoofing it long. Why are we hoofing it long?
Well,
Why do we no don't no.
I've got a caveat to this. Okay.
A caveat.
Right, and I hate to crop in there because you are right. But I feel like Luca's going to win. I felt, right, as you say, brilliant for 60 minutes. Dominated, had more possession of the ball. I felt created the better chances. I felt in that first half we were comfortable. I really liked the football we were playing. I thought the start of the second half we were brilliant. And as Rev said, actually, at the start of second halves, over the kind of last month and a bit, actually, we've always started positively. Even Cardiff, right? The start of the second half was really positive. Even Plymouth, New Year's Day, started the second half. So I thought we were great. I felt, right, the goal goes in. Brilliant goal, by the way. I loved the ball in from Phoenix. Lewis Freestone scored a brilliant header, got over his man. It was a brilliant goal, right? It was an us goal. It was celebrated, and I loved it personally, but it was celebrated like we just won the game in the 98th minute, right? The whole squad ran over. Philip Marshall was over the halfway line at one point. You had Marlon Beresford on his knees. You had the whole... No, it's just to add to the story, right?
To add to the airtime.
It adds to the airtime. Take out Marlon Beresford. It was celebrated like we'd won it in the last kick of the game. And I said to the boys, it's great. By the way, the celebrations went on for 3 minutes, by the way. 3 minutes. Not one. Quick cheer back in 3, right? I felt it was celebrated so much that I was a little bit worried about the next 10 minutes after, because I felt like it might have knocked the stuffing out the team a little bit for the next 10 minutes, right? I've even experienced it when I've played, when you over-celebrate almost, and the next 10 minutes is, you're blowing, right?
Well, did you think? I think as soon, because we obviously conceded straight after, and it was a poor goal to concede.
Yeah.
But I thought immediately we just lost shape. We lost the midfield battle completely. I think Harv was really struggling in terms of the physicality that Luton were bringing. Dan Phillips wasn't himself, because in the first half he was a pressing monster. We were pressing them so high up the pitch in the first half. He just didn't do that in the second half. And I know Kempy hasn't really been himself. I think he's been ill, and he's also been injured as well. So it's been kind of a turbulent time for him. But yeah, I just think it was kind of unorganised from that point on. And it kind of looked like, they could have scored a few more goals if they wanted to, Luton. They had the chances to. And I think we were just kind of too easy to break down after that point, I thought.
So there was a moment, they had scored the first. Ball went out for a throw-in on the right side of the pitch, but our left. So it was on Luther's side. And Lewis Freestone was in the middle of the pitch, and he was bent over, hands on his knees. Right, this was after they'd scored, just breathing heavily. And I thought, what's going on here? And then it immediately hit. They're not blowing from the celebrations, are they, of when we scored? Because I'm trying to realistically pinpoint and say, I think the reason for our performance in the last 30 minutes is that. But there's no other thing other than that. Because how can you go from playing, that well? They were brilliant, our team. And again, we lost the game. I was still really proud of them. I thought they were fantastic. To then having a 30 minutes like that straight after, it just doesn't make any sense, lads.
I think it was the moment that a lot of our attackers put the most energy into. I think it was... Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. It's probably not the reason, is it? It's probably
something completely different.
It's probably also the pressure, scoring, and then you kind of have to hold firm, and there's going to be a response. Always, there's going to be a response in that type of game as well, with that atmosphere. But yeah, to be honest, in my opinion, I think the game was missed opportunity again. I think it was inconsistency again, with just not being able to have a 90-minute performance, because I think it was the best, start to a game that we've had since Stockport.
100%.
And I think it was the best in terms of, because we continued it beyond the first half, and we haven't done that. We've only really been turning up for a half. But the thing I do want to touch on as well is kind of the relationship, because I know there's a question on it also, but it's that relationship between the system we play and then the personnel we deploy as well. Because I feel like at the moment, especially with the reinforcements that we have, the players that we have maybe in attacking areas, we're just not able to play the system we want to play at the moment. I feel like, especially when you look up top, you've kind of got Jamie Reid, and at the moment I look at it and that's it. Because I don't think Jovan's ready to play alongside him. I don't think he is ready to start. I think he's had his chance. He's had his few starts and he hasn't really proved it. And then, the only one I'd pair with Reedy up top, you've seen it before in previous years. You've seen him paired with Robbo. But then you're taking Robbo out of position. And I just feel like we're in this window, we're crying out for that big physical 9 maybe, or that someone to partner Reedy so we can play that system. Because at the moment, you've kind of got Reedy, who, he's been poor, but he's kind of being forced to play in a role that doesn't suit him properly. So I feel like January, the incomings are so important, because then we can get back to that system, that dynamic system that we want to play. We want to be able to be solid, to be aggressive, but we want to be able to play the ball wide, to press high, to be expansive. You need all the tools to do that. And at the moment, I feel like we've got tools in some areas, but going forward, we're really limited to one system, perhaps.
Yeah. I think, I sat on this podcast all the time, guys. In the summer, we created that, top half League One team. And we've had a brilliant season. When you look at, the statistics, 8 wins from our opening 10, all the performances that we've had, the 3-1 win at Stockport a month ago, which was our season defining win, the performance Saturday. And, there's been many, many top matches, right? You don't have 10 wins from 23 games if you're not one of the top sides. But I feel like, look, it's very evident that teams have sussed us out. We've said that time and time again. I think away from home, when you actually look at the last 6 matches, 2 wins, 2 draws, the 2 defeats really shouldn't have been defeats, because Cardiff, we got robbed Saturday. We should never have lost that game. And I think that was kind of really down to us of why we lost. But teams are sussing us out. And I think what it is with our team, right, we've got this unbelievable squad. The squad is a top League One level team, right? We've established that. But the final third around Jamie Reid isn't. It's League Two, right? So when you look at Jovan, Jake Young, the Gas, obviously I know the Gas is injured. They are League Two level players, right? Jovan is a player that we've taken a gamble on. Bit of a project. I know that Jovan might maybe come good next season, which I think could be the case. But realistically, they're League Two level players, and it's showing, because it's the only area of the pitch that we're lacking in. And
I'm sorry though. You look in those attacking areas. We haven't got anyone that's proven, but someone that is performing game after game. In defensive areas, in midfield areas, you've got players performing week in, week out, or they have a bad game and then they return with a good game.
Yeah.
I know it's obviously hard when you're a forward player to produce that, because it's moments, and you might only get few chances in this league, with all the chances that if we do create and we don't create. But yeah, we need that proven quality. Because my opinion, over the last few years, we've taken far too many gambles, and I feel like we need to. You need to take more risks, because, in my opinion, it's a squad that's maybe 75% complete. Because the midfield, the defence, the goalkeeper, you wouldn't change it, would you? You would not change it one bit. But you look at that attacking area, and you would change loads. You would bring in so many players to change it, and then you put those players into the 11, and you go, there you go, we can go attack this league. But at the moment, we've got a great foundation, a great base, but our attack is vulnerable, and it's what's let us down year after year, time after time. And you've got to put an end to it at some point. You've got to bring that proven talent in, that proven, maybe experienced head that comes in for maybe a season or two, gets you goals, and that's what you need, maybe.
And I was just going to say as well, like, I love our system, and I love the way that more so the last couple of months, especially away from home, that Revs has been deploying different setups and systems to start getting us winning games, picking up points, playing Welling, and the results have showed that. 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats in our last 6 away. Obviously, at home, we know we need that structural change, in my opinion, which I think is going to be a big week next week when we had the 3 home matches in a row. But in terms of being away from home, we have deployed that. I think one thing that was very evident at Luton on Saturday was the isolation of Jamie Reid again. And, you know, I want to go to the point you said, Luca, as well about Reedy. Look, it wasn't Reedy's finest game, but I really feel for Jamie Reid because he's being deployed as a lone striker. Yes, with a lot of quality around him, right? But in terms of service, Jamie Reid is just not getting any service. I mean, I watched it Saturday. It was just, he's holding up the ball. He's got nobody there to support. He's getting balls it down the channels because, and this is the thing as well, you want Reedy in the middle. You want your goal man in the middle. We're hitting balls down the channels and Jamie Reid's out in the channel. You want your man in the middle, you know, so there seems to be not an issue with that, but that really needs to be sorted out, in my opinion. I'd like to see Exeter, and I know we'll come on to it. I'd like to see a style deployed where we've got a 2 there, I think.
I don't get it, honestly, why you have players like Jamie Reid and Dan Kemp in the team if you don't play to their strengths. What is the point? Because Reedy, if you look at him, he is quite one-dimensional in his game style. In his play style, he wants to play a distinct style. If you play that game, he's a good striker. He's a great striker. He's proven it. That season where he scored 20-odd goals in all competitions, he was brilliant because we played his way and he was just scoring goal after goal, week after week. And you saw it with Dan Kemp last season. You play the balls to him, you get it to him, you let him drive forward. He does his stuff. He works his magic, you know. So for Reedy, the problem is that yes, he's in poor form. He is in poor form, and he has been for a lot of the season. And it's been moments for him, and it's been spells, as you always say. For Reedy, he'll have that great month. He'll have that great month, and then he might drop off and have a poor month where he's not in form. That's what he's like. But it doesn't help if we don't play to his game. If we keep hoofing the ball up to him all the time, you can tell it's going to be a game that he's not going to be in, and he's going to be isolated. And that, in turn, you always see it. It affects his all-round play. It always affects it. If you're playing it on the floor to his feet, you know, there's crosses. Phoenix gets down the byline, cuts it across, first time finish. I always say that's his game. It is always like that, not physical. He doesn't want to duel. He doesn't want to battle the defenders. He wants to do that. So we've got to start playing to his strengths because you're just isolating him. And, you know, he's not useless, but you're wasting him. You're wasting Reedy if you're playing in that system. You've got to play to his strengths.
Yeah. And actually, if you go back to November when Reedy was being deployed in a 2 with the gas, actually his performances really improved. Wigan, he was very unfortunate not to score. The keeper pulled off 2 brilliant saves. He scored against Peterborough and was brilliant that night. He was actually putting together some really top performances. We know Reedy's a partnered striker. He's not a lone striker. And again, we saw that on Saturday. Lads, the game Saturday, there were some big moments. Now, the moments of this were the sending off shout at Lewis Freestone, the penalty that was brilliantly saved by Philip Martial. There was Lewis Freestone's goal and the 2 goals that we conceded. And quick mention, the sending off that probably should have been the penalty that when I watched it in real time, I thought, what? And then when I watched it back, it did look like Dan Phillips had given him a little nudge, but it's difficult to say. Thoughts on those big moments in the match, and?
Well, I think the referee got the sending off call wrong. I think you look at that as without a bias hat on and without rose tinted glasses, and you see a player that's gone over the ball that is late and has gone in with studs up and connected with look like the ankle bottom of the leg. Now, you have that in a Premier League game. There is VAR, and the referee doesn't give a red card. That referee will be told to go to the monitor and look at his decision and change it.
Yeah.
So my issue now is, what's the reprimand for this referee because he's got such a disastrous call wrong? And some people go there, oh, I don't think it's that bad in real time, and it's quite sneaky because you watch the highlights back and they don't show it on the highlights unless you watch the full game. So it almost looks like the EFL are trying to then protect the referee because doesn't look like a great call. And the it the whole game, and this goes for both sides. The referee was poor, wasn't consistent, gave lots of little fouls one way, and then just didn't give anything the other way, and then started giving lots of little fouls going this way, and then that, and it's like you can't do that. And then he obviously has this big flashpoint of the red card, and what do you want me to say? I mean, if people think that that's not a red card and they think, oh, that's a great tackle, I'm sitting there going, well, we heard Lewis Freestone scream from where we were. You could hear him; he was in agony.
Yeah, it was the speed and intensity of the challenge that just made it look so bad. I thought, I mean, I know Luca mentioned there as well. There was an incident with Jordan Roberts, I think, as well. I mean, it was just, a game that was, I think, really poorly refereed by the referee.
I don't get it, because every single instance, every single big instance, goal, penalty save, as you said, red card challenge potentially, you looked at it, and then from I was watching it, you look at the replay, there was something different. There was something wrong with it, always. And you were looking like the refs missed it every time. And it's like, I mean, the Jordan Roberts one, you talk about it, it happened, the ref turns away, and then the Luton reaction from the bench sends him back.
Yeah, wins the free kick. It's genuinely at the point now where it's like, if you're at home, you scream really loudly, you'll get a free kick. But we do it, and Revs gets booked. And it's not like we've got Big Steve anymore, because we know that refs aren't a fan of Big Steve. But it's got to the point now where it's becoming an issue, because it almost brings player safety into it. You said the penalty. Look, in real time, what I saw live was Dan Phillips has obviously gone up because he thinks the ball's going to bounce a bit higher. He's obviously going to try and win the header. Misjudged it. The Luton player's got it. He's got a little nudge in the back, and he's gone down like a sack of potatoes. Right? The referee's gone, yeah, all of it, and he's pointed to the spot. If that's the other way round, at the other end of the pitch, are we getting that call? No, you're not. Right? So then now you're now questioning the integrity of the referee. So when Howard Webb comes out and does all this ref watch stuff like they do every week on Sky Sports, why don't they put that in there? Because they're going to sit there and go, well, if that's at the other end, you ain't getting it. Well, that's a red card. And we need to start calling out referees. And look, we know football is one of those things where online abuse is quite high and quite prevalent, right? Which obviously I'm not I'm not advocating it. I don't think it's right. But what we need to start doing is, and I said it after when we lost to Stoke in the FA Cup a couple of years ago, when they gave that penalty when you could clearly see Thompson or Tomkinson or whatever kick the ball, right? Why do we not get the referees out and go, explain that decision, explain that decision? Because then us as fans go, okay, fine, we can see his thought process, we understand the logic, we understand the way he's approached it. But when it's dead silent, we're all sitting there going, we don't know what they've seen, because obviously we see it from a different perspective. and it really, really, really baffles me. And everyone, you know, and we talked about it earlier. The handball rule now is so confusing because it goes if it hits you above the shirt sleeve line, you're fine. If it hits you below, it's not fine. If it bounces off your body and hits there, but it's fine. If it bounces off this, but you say, "Oh, Roberts handballed it." Yeah, but for me, it comes off his thigh, so therefore it's fine. What's a natural position? Is he meant to run with his arms by his side? All these different questions, and the amount of times the rules get changed by the FA at the start of each season. How the hell are are we, as paying fans, expected to go to a game week in, week out, and know what the law is for each thing? Because it changes every year. And sometimes they change it halfway through a season, which confuses everybody else twice as much. They need to go back to basics. Rule one, this is it. This is the offside. This is handball. This is what determines a yellow card. This is what determines a red card because nobody knows.
No,
Nobody knows. It's
it's
the whole structure of English football from top to bottom, Premier League to non-league, PGMOL, EFL, FA, Premier League, National League North and South. Everyone goes by different rule. Like everyone interprets the laws differently. So they almost need to go right. Get all the referees within the country that ref at a professional level or semi-pro level, sit them in a room and go bang, bang, bang. This is the expectation. If you see this, this is the outcome. And start and you know what? I'll even say it, Dermot Gallagher on Ref Watch when he does it on Sky Sports, right? He always backs up the referee. No, have some balls and call out the referee for making an atrocious decision
yeah.
because some of them are horrendous. But you know what? We're playing League One football. No one really cares about that. They only focus on the Premier League because that's the big money maker. Well, what about us who support lower league clubs who then have to suffer with the incompetence we get with some of the referees and the arrogance you get of some referees who walk around a pitch as if they're the best thing since sliced bread and everyone's paid their hard-earned money, go and watch them ref a game of football. No, I've not paid to come watch you walk around with a whistle and dish a few cards out here and there. I've come to watch two teams of teams play football and want a good spectacle for the entertainment. Not you walking around like you're some King Charles the First, dishing out yellow cards here, there, and wherever because you think you're the best thing in town. Get back in your place and let the teams play the football, and you're there to officiate it. I've
I
had
think
enough.
I think you should go on strike.
There's no round of applause, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I think Ange should go on strike over the ref. And you've summed up the referee's performance in that 5-minute monologue. Well done, mate. Absolute class. But no, I do agree. He was woeful. But I expect that now. It's like this season we've had so many woeful refs that I'm not surprised by his performance.
No, the standard's normal. They've made it normal with how poor the standard is. You don't when you go to a game, you don't expect a good referee. You expect a few clangers here and there. You expect both teams to kind of have a few moments where they don't know what the referee's given.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand it because you've got referees who put in poor performance after poor performance, and then they get upgraded a league.
Yeah, they get rewarded. Yeah, they do.
Or for not doing.
It goes back to my point, lads. Right? Paid professionals. We go into work and we put in a subpar performance. What happens? You get called into your manager's office, going, "You need to sort yourself out, otherwise you're gone." You keep putting in the
I don't know
subpar
about that actually, and I've heard you pull out 5 out of 10s on most days at work. So I'm not sure I agree.
All I'm saying is that the team that I looked after for football won 2 trophies, and then both A team and B team unbeaten in the season, scoring 20 odd goals.
Do you scream at the referees at the kids' games? They say
unfortunately, it's either me or it's the other coaches. But I don't sit there and walk around going, "Oh, oh yeah, no, I just go, right, lads, go and play football, and anything
No
contentious
one.
I'll deal with.
Yeah.
Don't don't
In
do it
all
with
honesty,
me.
I thought the ref was poor Saturday. I thought he was also poor for Luton at times. And I think there was things that he missed for Luton. I think there was certainly things that he missed for us. And it seems to be a common theme. Again,
I
boys, to kind of sorry,
so,
go on.
so I said to Sam, and me and Sam were having this conversation, over the last 3 years that we've been in this league, the refereeing's got worse. It's actually got worse. I've not sat there and gone, I know he's good. That yeah, we're getting better. We're getting a good start. They're getting worse.
Yeah, they are. They are. They are. And it showed once again on Saturday. So to go through it, as I was going to say, boys. So again, to me, I think with our team, again, it seems 60 minutes was a fantastic performance, and it looked like we were going to go home with at least a point to end up losing the game. Again, the reasons for that we don't know exactly. I do think the celebrations potentially knocked the stuffing out of us for just 10 minutes after, and I think we didn't switch on. And we've conceded two really sloppy goals, and they were sloppy goals, very uncharacteristic type of goals to concede, especially this team and for this season. I think the one thing for me as well is maybe some of the substitutions. I would have liked to have seen Phoenix stay on the pitch. I think taking Phoenix off, we're in a game where, we're losing 2-1. Luton aren't. Look, I'll be honest. I didn't think Luton were that good at all. Right? We have played so many better sides this season. I thought exactly the same way as when I thought of them when we beat them comfortably at home 2-0. Luton aren't a great side. And I felt that there was another goal there. And I feel like in that moment when you're 2-1 down, you've got to look at who are going to be your players to create a moment, not necessarily score a goal. Who's going to be the players to give you a moment, give you, just one more moment in the game to go and win, go and score a goal and get an equaliser. And Phoenix Patterson falls into that category. When you want players to get the ball and do something and create something, you're looking at players like Phoenix. So when I saw him go off Saturday, I was a bit like, that's really an outlet there gone for us now in this game. I thought Jovan did well when he come on. He nearly scored in the last second. It was kind of blocked in the box. But I just felt maybe that might have been the wrong call to take Phoenix off. Look, Revs knows, and Phoenix might have had other issues or he might be tired or whatnot. I just felt that in that moment, you needed players like Phoenix to stay on. And I know that a few of our fans were disappointed with some of the personnel changes in the game. But I think for me, look, I know we lost 2-1. I'm generally a positive guy with this team because I love them that much, but I thought the performance was brilliant for that 60-minute period. I know we want to see it for 90, but I thought for that 60-minute period, that was the best performance since the 3-1 at Stockport. I thought they were brilliant. I thought the chance creation was so much better. I thought we played some really good football. I thought the goal was brilliant. And the limbs of that was just absolutely terrific. And I was really proud of them Saturday. And I know we lost the game. And I know people aren't going to be happy. The fact that you look and 13 matches now, it's 2 wins. And I get that. But if they can play like that in a lot of the games that they've got coming up, and we have got some tough games coming up after Exeter, I think we're going to be fine. I think what's very evident, lads, is we're that close, right, to having a top 6 side. I think we've got a top half League One team because that's what we created in the summer, but we're that close from having a top 6 side. And the reason why we don't have that top 6 side, the reason why we're not there yet and we're that far away is there needs to be League One personnel in the final third along with Jamie Reid in terms of the strikers. And at the minute, we have League Two personnel. And that has been abundantly clear now for 2 to 3 months, right? So, look, we lost, we're gutted, but I think the performance was for 60 minutes was great. And also, I just want to throw in there as well, I thought Philip Marshall was fantastic, by the way. What a save. And again, he made that kind of 1v1 save in the second half, didn't he? So positives to take, disappointed to lose. But, I look at Exeter now, going forward, this is the game for me. And we're going to get into it in a little bit after we look at the table. But
it's because I want to make one final point. and I want to word this correctly, but I think that in attacking areas, we don't have enough backbone, I think, in the back end of games. I feel like, when we have our approach, whatever we deploy, if we're, getting the ball wide, being expansive, or we're going in a direct manner, when we deploy that with the current attacking options we have, if that doesn't work and we come across a team that is clinical, they take their chances and they are dangerous on the break, I don't feel like at the moment we've got anything to offer. When a team maybe scores, I think we struggle to respond. And I feel like, especially for our attackers, if their game doesn't work in this current system, they don't really offer anything else. And I think that showed in the current games. I think it correlates to the 60-30 thing you talk about, where it's that 60 minutes where, the team looks good. The 11 looks really good when they're playing that first approach. They're deploying that first approach, and which is really working. But it's that last half an hour, maybe that second half, that when it's not working, or maybe the opposition have sussed us out a bit, that we need that something else to offer, if you know what I mean. And that obviously comes through reinforcements.
Do you know what I think it is as well, Luke? And I do really agree with your point. I think we need to find a way of winning again. And what I mean by that is, look, we won 8 matches in the opening 10 games. It was an unbelievable start. We were top countless of times, right? 2 wins in 13. I feel we need to find a blueprint of winning again. And again, I like the way that we played the 4-2-3-1 and we went really positive and great. Is there a way that we can just win a game ugly?
Just a game. Performance.
Yeah. Can we, is there a way to just find a way to win the game? Okay, there might be a game where you don't see this open attacking performance, but nick a win, find a way to win a game. When we go 1-0 up in a game, like Luton, for example, could we have actually changed the system and maybe gone 3-5-2 and just been a little bit more kind of solid for the last 30? But, just do your jobs, get behind the ball, change the setup, make it difficult for Luton. I think there's those elements to it as well in game that we probably need to do better, I think, in terms of just winning games. Just winning. Remember Peterborough? It wasn't the most attractive performance in the world, but we got the win, and that's what it's all about, winning. And that, I think, that's something that we need to do again. I know it sounds ridiculous.
It's do what we're good at and take inspiration from our early season form. That's all I can say, really.
No, I completely agree.
We talked about this on Saturday, right? 12 points from 13 games is what we've had as our return. Don't want to say it, and I don't want to be.
I know what you're going to say.
Don't say
it. It's relegation form. It's something you'd see down the bottom of the table.
If it was 5 or 6 games, we'd be going okay to blip in form. But I do agree.
It just screams like, I don't know. Is it the players have run out of legs because of the fantastic start we had, and we're now going, Christ, where can we nick it? We're just struggling to. Everyone goes, "Oh, the draws," but if you're wanting to be, and I know we said top half of League One, but with the start, everyone's going, "Oh my God, we could go for playoffs, all that crap." You can't just keep drawing games at home.
What it is with this league, right, is League One is something that I like to call an evolving division, right? And what I mean by that, League One, every season, but more so this season, you have to evolve with the division. And what I mean by that is, as the season goes on, the teams that are able to evolve, make adaptations to keep winning, keep playing well, and keep picking up points are always the teams that go on to do really, really well. And I feel like in this division, because there's so many good sides, so many good play. It's League One we're playing. It's borderline championship football. We're in the top 8. All of those teams are borderline championship, right? You have to understand that you're going to get sussed out by teams. You're going to have other ways of playing, other ways of picking up results, playing different systems, different setups. Teams that do those things are normally the teams that evolve with the division and they go on to consistently do well. And what's happened with us, we've built this top half League One team. And trust me, regardless of even if we didn't evolve, we'd still be in the top half because that's what we created. But we're at a point where if you really want to stay in that top, I'm talking about the top bracket, the top six, you have to evolve. You have to be able to change and adapt. And then you have to be able to make the right signings. And you have to do that in this division. Or what ends up happening is teams suss you out. They have a blueprint. And whenever you're played home and away, teams just know how to set up against you. And it's very clear that teams that get results against us, other than Cardiff to a degree, because Cardiff were that good, sit in a low block, get behind the ball, and nick a result.
And to build on that, though, I think that we, especially at home, we fall into too many traps that, that we know that we shouldn't be falling into. I think we've done it year after year, that there's certain games where, as you said, the team, they arrive with a low block, they come in with that sort of system. And we play the same way. We don't change it up. We play that direct style. And as I say, we've always played better against the teams who play. The teams that are at the top of the division. We always struggle against the ones at the bottom. We always do. The ones that come and want to play direct, because then we do that as well. And I feel like we put the right 11s out a lot of the time. I think Revs, the odd game, he maybe messes it up, but the selection is normally pinpoint, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
But he needs to match that with the approach. And it goes back to the thing where I'm saying he's got to work with the players' strengths. You've got to play to the players' strengths. And if you're playing a system with maybe the wrong personnel, and that's against a Plymouth, a Burton, an Exeter, it's not going to work. And we kept getting the same result as a result. And that's what's let us down. I feel like our decision-making maybe on the pitch, game management, I feel it has to be better, because it goes back to your point, evolving. You can't just, when you're in that top echelon of the division, you can't be acting like you're surviving relegation. You can't act like you're one of those teams that's scrapping, maybe, where you're just playing direct against the direct teams. You want to be playing, you want to be dominating possession, you want to be being expansive and creating loads of chances and putting them to the sword. That's what you want to be doing. You don't want to be falling in the trap time and time again of just playing into their style, because that's what we do a lot of the time. And then when we do play against the bigger teams, the teams who play, we have a different approach to them. We have a more direct style. It kind of breaks their play up a bit. And that's why we're more in the game. That's why we're more competitive. So that's what I feel like. I feel like when he has the personnel, a certain personnel, he's got to match the right approach, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and I said it. We know, and I think I said it before the game against Luton, we know with the squad that we created in the summer for the next few years to consistently stay in that top League One. And each summer we evolve and we make sure that we establish ourselves in the top half of League One every season now. We know when we get it right, when we get the personnel right, when we get the setup right, we are a top team and we will beat teams in this division as we saw in those opening 10. There's no doubt about it. Right? You look at the players, you look at the level, you look at the results and the performance. The proof's in the pudding in our portfolio this season of the wins that we've got and the performances that we've seen. Do you know what I mean? We know we get it right, but you've got to get it right, because Plymouth, for example, we got the personnel wrong. It followed with a real stinking performance. Luton got the personnel right. It followed with a fantastic performance until the last 30, where I think, certain things happened. And then actually maybe the personnel was wrong in terms of who went off, etc. So I think, as you say, Luke, you've got to get the personnel right. You've got to get the setup right. You get those things right, this team will win matches and they'll consistently stay up there. And I think that is so evident with this team, because that's what we created in the summer.
Do you think poor decision making? Because I think that's the problem. I think we always get a lot of things right, but there's always something wrong that is kind of breaking down our momentum at the moment. It's either, the approach is right, the changes are right, but the selection in the first half is poor. Or maybe it's on Saturday, it's the last half an hour and the changes that are kind of bringing it down a little bit, and you want that perfect 90-minute performance. You want that Peterborough. You want the Stockport performance where everything clicks. And for the top teams, everything seems to click at the right moments. So, and for us, it's kind of just something's not working, and then there'll be the odd performance where everything does click. But we need to do that more regularly, and that's what we maybe need to find. But that will obviously come with the experience, but that's something we need to get better at, I think.
And the time for winning's now, because we're at January. I'm still so happy with 8th. If someone would have said it to me in Torres in the summer or in Spain, going, after the halfway point would be 8th, I'd have been like in tears, right? I am so happy. I'm still buzzing, boys. I love them. But if I'm honest, we're at a point now where we need new players in that final third to a League One personnel level. And we need a couple of wins because the division is 10 points separating from us to the bottom 4. So we need a win. We need to get the 4 points. We just need to win a game for the players to win. For us, we need a win now. It is time for winning games because we've gone 2-13. I've got the league table in front of me. I'm going to quickly whistle through it before we move on to the big one at Exeter Saturday. There weren't many games in League One on the weekend, only a few because of the FA Cup. Only us and a few matches really were on in the division. The league table at the minute, bottom 4, Port Vale, Doncaster, Rotherham and Burton. Albion, no change there in the bottom 4. 20th up to mid-table, Northampton, Blackpool, Leyton Orient, Barnsley. Barnsley is 17th now, only playing 21 games though. Plymouth, Wigan, Exeter, Wimbledon and Mansfield. From 11th to 7th, it's Wickham, Peterborough, Reading, us in 8th. I'm so proud, so happy, boys. 8th place. Look at Andy, he loves it. He loves it, the boy. 7th is Luton, and the top 6 is Bolton, Huddersfield, Stockport, Bradford, Lincoln City, and Cardiff City are still leading the division. Fixtures for this weekend. Everything's back on, as we know. We go to Exeter. Come on, boys. Get a win. On Saturday in our 24th League One match of the 2025-26 season. The games are Bradford v Cardiff. Wow, 12:30 game. Wigan v Bolton is the other 12:30. All the 3 o'clock kickoffs are Wimbledon v Doncaster, Barnsley Blackpool, Burton Huddersfield, Leyton Orient Reading, Luton Lincoln, Mansfield Port Vale, Northampton Wickham, Peterborough Plymouth, and Stockport Rotherham.
Very good day of games.
Wow. Bradford Cardiff. What a game that is.
Bolton as well, Derby.
Yeah, Derby one. And then I think actually when we play Mansfield next Saturday, I think it's Bradford Lincoln. So there are some, and then I think Stockport play Huddersfield. Oh no, sorry, they played each other on the weekend. I think it goes Huddersfield Cardiff or something like that. Some mad games coming up.
Might leave League One out of my ACCA on Saturday then.
Yeah, I think that's one I missed. Don't back the early kickoffs after you're around. Jesus Lord.
Andy's dying declaration.
Yeah, most certain. And he was right with that declaration as well, just to throw in there. Boys, Exeter away. This is the biggest game. I'm owning it. The biggest game of our season. We need to win a game of football. We've won 2-13. And I really believe in our squad. I love them. And I know people have been frustrated because we've only seen 2 wins in 13. But I know what we created in the summer. We know that we're of that top League One level. That's what we created for the next few years to evolve and get better season on season under this management. And I look at this game and I think, as good as Exeter are at home, and they have got a very good home form, it's actually very similar to ours in terms of the points collected. But in terms of having a game of football to win, you're not going to get much nicer games than this one. You look at Exeter, you see fewer goals scored than us. You see a good 12 losses on the board. They're one of the highest losing sides in the division. In terms of a game of football that we can get a win from, this is such a big game. We need a win. The players need a win just to get the 40 points as well for our position in the division. We don't want to get sucked into that appalling slip slide, that it seems to be in League One. Exeter away, lads. We've said all the things that we want to see. Dominating performance. We want to see that 90-minute performance. Luca, I'll come to you first, mate. A massive game for the team. 40 points, winning a game. I mean, my God, it's the time for winning. And dare I say it, a great opportunity to kind of start the second half of this season with a win.
I think it's so important because you talk about it's Saturday. It's the beginning. It's the Saturday, Tuesday. And if you begin it with a loss away to Exeter, you go, okay, Bolton at home, Mansfield at home, the way we've been at home, going to be tough. Peterborough, the form they're in, going to be tough. So you look at this game and you go, it's a priority. You've got to win, and there's no excuses to not go and put in a performance and go and win the game, in my opinion. And I want to see a repeat of Peterborough, the first half performance at Peterborough, where we just pressured them. Because they're not a team, I mean, they were just under their new manager and starting to play their play style. But I want to see that pressure. I want to see be expansive from the off and have that energy about us. Look like after 10, 20 minutes that we are chasing it in the 90th minute. Have that energy about us and get the crosses in the box. Create those chances early. Because if we do that, it will set the tone for the rest of the game. And we put ourselves in great stead. We start well. We've showed from the Luton game that we can sustain it for that period. If we can do that again, I think we can get the 90 minutes. It's that first 10, first 20. If we are on it and when we get that early goal is so important. I feel like should be talking about it, should be prioritising it. Get that early goal because the nerves that will settle, that will just allow us to push on, play the same, get more goals, to be ruthless, something we need. The confidence for the attacking players as well. But yeah, a 90-minute performance, solid. Just be expansive, be confident as well.
I got to be honest. I know I call it our biggest game this season. I actually don't think a lot of people actually realise how big this game is for many reasons. I look at this and I see a great opportunity to win a game of football, and we need a win. Right, we haven't won since Stockport, which was a month ago now. Right, and I know obviously we've got the 3 home matches after, which are tough games, and that this is why I think it's really important to get a win prior to the 3 home matches we've got, and then before Feb Barnsley away. But I just think if we don't win it, you then look and you think, well, we haven't beaten Exeter, we haven't beaten Plymouth, we haven't beaten Burton, we haven't beaten Wimbledon. We've actually had a lot of winnable games that we haven't won.
The story of us recently, we talked about it. Must-win game, we draw. Must-win game, we lose.
100%. And I look at this and I just think, you are not going to get a much better opportunity to win a game than this one, in my opinion. And I'm not stamping on Exeter. I know Exeter's actually got a good home form, and I think they've got 20 points from, I think, 10 or 11. They're similar to us. They've got very good home form. They've scored 23 goals. There's fewer than us. They've scored 25, fewer than us.
They beat Luton 1-0. They're last.
Yeah, beat Luton. Now, Exeter, it doesn't seem like they go and score many goals in games. They've just scored 25, which is fewer than us. This is a really good opportunity to go to this game, play with intensity, as Rev says, go at the game, because Exeter typically aren't really a high-scoring side. They might get a 2 or 3 in one, but typically, when you look at their goal statistics, they don't actually score loads. You look at Exeter, and I just think this is a really nice match to have in order to get a win. So I think for me, even though you walk away from the ground, if it's a point, it's a point. I want to see a win. I really want to see a win for this team. They need to start winning games, in my opinion. And big one, mate. Look, we need a win, and we need a win.
Win at all costs.
Win at all costs.
Otherwise, I know what some of the group chat might say, be like, get Big Steve back in, kind of thing, But no, look.
All I'm going to say, and can I just throw in there to go with your point? We've got the best defence in the division. Exeter have got the second. Does that mean it's destined for another 0-0?
Paul Tisdale was unemployed, by the way.
What? The Tiz?
Did you know? I swear he was director of football at Celtic.
Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was.
And he got given the boot because it's Paul Tisdale.
Rightfully so.
Well, he did fall asleep at a game recently.
The one that found Wilfred Nancy.
Wow.
What I will say is, if we even consider going near Paul Tisdale.
Oh,
Conf-
ads. This is a
you
pipe
know, my resignation to this podcast be handed in firmly quick.
resignation to the pod. I don't think we work like that, and I don't.
Very formal.
Yeah, God, I didn't know we did a 4 weeks notice period. Bloody hell. Did we? Who set that up?
I'm not commenting on watching a Paul Tisdale team play football because
League One.
it wouldn't be PG. Let's put it like that.
Jesus Lord. Well, look, all I'm going to say for this game, boys, right? I'm going to quickly say my 11. I want to see if you agree or disagree. I'm going Philip Marshall, Luther Wilding, Charlie Good, Pidge. Well, Lewis Freestyle. I mean, the back line, really, that back line, a fight, really. Right? Yeah, I know. Like, I see 2 goals at Luton. Like, that back line was brilliant. It's got to be that back line. For me, right, I'm torn with the middle, right? Because I know
don't think Harvey White plays.
I know Harvey White's been a quality operator this season, but for me at the minute, I think there's better options.
Louis plays for me.
Yeah. So my team is Louis Thompson and Dan Phillips.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
2. I just think them 2 with their experience, their quality, the way they win the ball back then. I'm then going, obviously, Kempy in the 10. And hopefully this is a nice game for Kempy to play if he's right. I'm going Phoenix in his position again. And I'd like to see Phoenix play pretty much all the game if he can. And then I'm actually going the line that I saw against Stockport, so Phoenix, Chem, Jamie Reid for me.
Would you consider the midfield away at Stockport where you had Phillips, Thompson, Houghton? Because I thought that was really well. I mean, why not give it another try? I mean, Kempy is not in the best of form. I know he's obviously, when he's on it, he's the best player in the team and he's fantastic creative output. But, do you throw that in the mix maybe?
I agree. Yeah, I think it's worth a shout. And Jordan Houghton is such a top player at the level as we know he was Championship. I think it's worth a shot. And maybe, to be fair to Dan Kemp, if he's not 100%, maybe he's a player that you could bring on this game if you need a goal, right? With 20, 25 minutes to go. I think that's a fair shout. I'd really like to see Chem Campbell play as well because, Chem, I know he got ill for a bit. I thought Stockport, Chem was absolutely fantastic. And then kind of since Stockport hasn't really played loads. I think he had flu, I think Rev said. I'd like to see Chem.
About getting that chemistry back with your fullback. It's just getting that playing time with Luca again, because they work so well at Stockport. And if they can just maybe get 90 minutes again together, long term, I think that would do really well again.
I agree. I completely agree. And I think, again, we know, get the personnel right Saturday against Exeter, deploy the right system, we'll walk out with the result against Exeter. Yeah. So big game, making the trip down Saturday morning, staying Saturday night, going to Anne's favourite place, the Imperial, for some beers and some food. Anne's not doing it now. Unbelievable. Are you making the trip, Luca, or watching?
Not to the Imperial.
Not to the Imperial. What a place. I wish I could have my stag do there. No, I'm joking. Who knows?
Are we ready for the idiot of the week?
Oh, my.
Bit of drum roll.
You know what? Throw it in there before we go to the questions, because we have got some questions. Go on, Ad. Idiot of the week for you.
Ini Effiong.
Did you already say that one?
No, I don't think I did.
Swear Anne said Ini Effiong last week.
Oh, well, we can move forward. Tyrone Marsh.
I swear you've already said him. Sorry, Anne. I don't want to shit on your parade.
No, I don't believe so.
I think we may have inferred these. We haven't really given them the whole episode.
No, that's true. I'm going to go for Henry Cowans.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Electric at Portsmouth that day.
Yeah, that nifty midfield player. Yeah, him. Yeah.
Liked him.
I'm going to go for him for my idiot of the week.
I'll chuck Ross Marshall in there because I don't think I've said it.
Oh, what a guy. What a guy.
I actually have another question. It's a bit of a rogue question, but we've got to that point in the pod where we go off on tangents.
We've got 10 minutes. Go on.
So You know when we did like that festival kind of thing at Borough a couple of years ago in the
What, the
summer?
SMR concert?
Yeah, that one.
Mhm.
If you could have
Oh,
like one American artist come over to perform, who would you go for and why?
American. Have they got to be
Yeah,
American?
yeah,
American. That is such an idiot question.
yep.
Um,
I'm literally just basing this off profit and what we'd get from it.
Berkeley Eganese. Can we get Berkeley on? Can Berkeley sing from Exola? I don't know. I don't know, man. American singer, dead or alive, and
Uh, well, it could be either, I suppose. There's no real right or wrong answer to this.
dead.
Michael Jackson, probably.
Yeah, dead for me is probably Michael
Ooh.
Jackson. For me, dead is Michael Jackson. I think Michael Jackson is unbelievable. But alive, I'll go for
Michael Jackson in front of the East.
yeah, the New North. I'll go for oh man, I'll go for American. I will go for oh my god, I actually don't know who I choose. The Americans throw me off here. I'll go for American. I will go for. I was going to say something like 50 Cent or Snoop Dogg or something like that. It's got to be someone with the bangers, isn't it?
I was going to go like, you know that the Super Bowl halftime thing a couple of years ago where they had like Eminem, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg,
Yeah.
that lineup.
You're not going to say Benson Boone, are you, and
No, no. By the way, Barnsley have scored at Liverpool in the FA Cup.
have they?
What, 1-0?
It's 2-1.
What?
Who? Murphy.
Cracker at the Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Murphy Cooper and net. Hopefully you can chuck a few in for us in a few weeks.
What do you mean pandemonium at the park on Saturday, and
Won't be any, it'll be far from pandemonium.
pandemonium at the park? Um, Lads, we've got some questions to end the pod. We haven't got long. We've got 5 minutes, so we'll whittle through these really, really quickly. I've got a question each. We're going to start with And. First one for you, And, is Richard has asked, with it being obvious we need a striker, who do you guys think / want us to get in this transfer window?
Um,
Thank you, Richard.
I don't think there's anyone that I'm sitting here screaming, going, we need to go and get him. Um, I know that you had. I don't know of his situation currently, but Troy Parrott that was at Spurs.
Hmm?
I wouldn't mind him on like a 6 month loan. He's young, he's energetic, he knows where the goal is. Good finisher as well. I
Is,
wouldn't mind seeing him.
is Troy Parrott, the one at Spurs?
Yeah,
He's in
yeah.
Dutch league.
Yeah, well, that's that one out the
No,
window.
he's.
No,
It's, I thought I'm sorry to blow the bubble, but I think he's worth about 10 million.
well, hang on
Right.
a sec. To answer this, should we just whip up the Reece Donnelly recruitment doc? Is that not something we can?
I do like.
Ronan Hale, was he on the cards
I
Yeah,
or?
don't like him. I do really like Ronan.
I like the look of. I mean, I think he's a physical striker. I like the look of Adama Sidibe. I think we've been linked with him a few times.
Yeah, good player.
Because I think he doesn't just give the physical 9 standpoint. He kind of gives that pacey aspect and that all round stuff that we need.
But I think the striker that we need, and this is why I actually quite like Ronan Hale as well. I think it's going to need a striker that kind of is quite proactive.
I think we need both.
Yeah, like the way we are. I think we need that, proactiveness to go and create things as well. And I like him for that, Sidibe as well. I think that's a great shout. Yeah, okay, and fair play. Luca, question coming to you. This is John. John has said, is it the system or is it the personnel? If it's the system, do we change it to suit the personnel or do we change the personnel to suit the system? That's a good question.
I think the personnel is the problem because in turn that affects the system we can play. I think like the personnel that we have is so limited due to injuries and just who we have in general, type of player we have. I feel like at the start of the season, even a few weeks ago, we were so dynamic in terms of we could change formation week in, week out. We could change to a 3-5-2, a 4-2-3-1. We could just change and alter like that. But then it seems to have, as the years turned, we've kind of just been really limited in the way that our personnel is. And that in turn just makes our system so one-dimensional at this point, I think, because you've obviously got Jamie Reid up front and you've got to play him in a strike partnership, but you can't. And that's the bottom line. There is no big physical out-and-out number 9 that is at the club currently. That he's available, ready to play, that you'd go, yeah, slap him in there, he'll play with Reedy. So yeah. I think it's definitely the personnel, because when we did have the personnel, we could do anything to the system and it was working.
I really agree with that, actually. I think for me it's the personnel, because I use Plymouth as an example. We got the personnel wrong that day. You saw the performance, right? Take Luton. We got the personnel right. Look at the performance for 60 minutes. Look at Stockport when we got the personnel right. I think we know that when we get the personnel right in any system that we deploy, you'll see a really good top performance. It'll be very rare if he gets the personnel right, we don't perform really well, right? So yeah, I agree with that. I think the personnel is what he has to. Like if you're going to get one of the two things wrong, don't get the personnel wrong. Do you know what I mean? I think that's huge for us. Last question is coming to me. This is from the Offside Flag. They have asked, we are so one-dimensional and easy to play against. Fully appreciate the financial situation, but Alex needs to get more out of the squad. Phoenix should be so much more of a threat, but not working. Reedy's very unpredictable. Someone like Mullin on loan would be great. Look, I think I've said that, look, we know that we created a top half League One team, right? We created a top half League One team, but we're at that point now where I think when you look in the final third around Jamie Reid, and when I say final third, I don't mean the attacking area, because when you see Phoenix, Chem, Jordan Roberts, Kemp, they're all top League One players. What I mean is the striking area of the pitch.
I really like that Paul Mullin shout.
Yeah, Paul Mullin's a great shout. I think that's a great shout.
He's been recalled from Wigan on loan as well, so he's available.
And he's not
going to play at Wrexham, is he?
No, they'll reload him out. For me, it's the striking options. Other than Jamie Reid, a lot of the players, I think, in my opinion, and I might be wrong, I love the players, but I think a lot of them are League Two level strikers, not League One personnel in that final third. And I think that's an area we need to strengthen. And I think Paul Mullin's a great shout. I like Ronan Hale. To be fair to Reece, I've actually quite liked Ronan Hale for a while. I think Sidibe is a good shout from Luca. I think any striker that is very proactive, good runner. I tell you who I actually really like, and it wouldn't happen because they're absolutely high flying. I've always really liked Freddie Draper from Lincoln. I think Freddie Draper is such a dynamic, hard.
I think he would have been available maybe half a season ago, but the way that he's gone this season, unfortunately.
Yeah, I really like Freddie Draper. But obviously Lincoln are absolutely flying at the minute, and obviously Draper's having a good season there as well. So I think someone like him, do you know what I mean? Someone with those attributes like a Freddie Draper. But that's who I'd look to get in. I'd look to get one or two. I think you're looking at maybe loaning out a couple of players, bringing in a couple of players in the striking options. So yeah, that's what I think about it. But look, Revs is going to be fine. I think the one thing that I said on Twitter is just stay patient. It will come good. We've got the squad. They're not going to continue to not win. It will come good. As soon as you see those improvements made in the final third, you'll start seeing this team win consistently, I promise. Guys, come to the end of the pod. Really quickly, we have got to mention before we end, because we've been going an hour and a half. Well, I say believe it or not, but that's like the norm now. Again, long edit for Farley in 5 minutes. I just want to mention League One Podcast of the Year. What's all this about, boys?
Must be doing something right.
Good one, Ad. Good one. I like that. It's true though. League One Podcast of the Year. Are we winning it?
No, no, I'm not going to say it. I want to refrain. I'm not going to say it.
Go on, say it. Say it.
No,
Say
no,
it. Go on.
no.
If you
I'm
don't know.
not.
I think
I've got too much respect for nappers.
No.
Oh, we are up against Jake Tong. I'm just going to throw that one in there. It's true.
You're trying to get me to buy. I'm not going. I'm not going to.
Good
No.
boy, Ads. Well done. I love that. Well done, Ad. I'm testing you. I wasn't actually wanting to speak about it. I'm just testing you. That's good. You came up there. You came up. As I watch
definitely doing something right though.
Sorry?
Definitely doing something right. If people can't see that, then
I don't even know, by the way, when they award that. I have no idea. I got to be honest though. I will be honest. I did vote for us.
You surprised me.
For us about 100 times.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't done that. But yeah. Hang on, Anne. Sorry, have you not voted yet?
It's in the rounds of I'm trying to push it into some group chats I'm in to get people to vote for us.
That isn't. By the way, that is elite from you. I didn't think you were going to say that. That's fair play. Do you know? I need to do more of that. Actually, I haven't even done that. Yeah, quite nice to be noticed and acknowledged. I don't know when that comes out from the deck. And for anyone listening that don't know the deck, so they are actually employed by the EFL. So that is, that is some sort of an EFL type of podcast thing. So that's quite a big deal actually. So yeah, it'd be nice to. Well, it's just nice to be up for it, lads, isn't it? You know, to be
up to win. What we want to do.
Well, like the team need to start winning matches. Let's win the pot. Let's go 2-2. But yeah, it should be good. Fellas, want to add anything?
Just win.
Just win, please. If we win, I'll get hammered on the weekend, please.
Like you wouldn't anyway.
No, I wouldn't. If we win, I'll be in tears on Saturday. 40 points. 100% with this team.
It is either way.
Well, yeah, no, it is happening either way, especially when you got Reece Donnelly near a pint. That is for sure.
You're going to be giving it last to some of the Exeter lads again this weekend, or
what, me?
Yeah.
What? Because of the picture? What, flicking them off like that? Of course I will. No, I'm joking. No, I'll leave Exeter alone. I actually quite like Exeter, but we will win on Saturday, and I won't be flipping anyone off. I'll be on my knees like Marlon Beresford behind the
too much airtime.
Honestly,
behind the goal in the terrace. Yeah, it'll be jokes. Well, Borough fans, thank you so much for tuning in to episode number 35, 60/30. That is right. 60 minutes of excellence, 30 minutes of breakdown. We will be back on Sunday, reacting hopefully to a win. And I'll promise you right now, if we win on Saturday against Exeter, no fun down hand. If we beat Exeter, then the title of the pod will be win with an exclamation mark. We'll be back reacting to hopefully a massive result at Exeter, and then we'll be looking ahead to an incredible period of games coming up for the team. That is right. We have 3 consecutive home matches in a row, followed by a game at Barnsley before February. So we have got a very hectic period coming up for the team. Stay tuned for all the content on the socials. Give us a follow and a like on YouTube and Twitter and the Audibles, and have a lovely rest of your week. And we will see you down in Exeter on Saturday for the big match. Borough fans, thank you so much for your support. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, at this time, you've been listening to the Stevenage Football Club podcast.